have my thing back. This is for sure. Feels good to have my monitor back. Yes. Welcome to Morning Medley number 268. I hope you had a good Tuesday. Street sweeping day, right? I feel good about today's Morning Medley. Good morning, Victor. Hope you're doing well. I'm gonna go ahead and start the medley now. Medley on the top, medley on the top. I'm gonna start with signals and then just go through a bunch of middling and then newer material. Was that the name of the bee in the bee movie? Like, I don't know. I'm surprised. I don't know why I sound surprised. Of course it was. sleeping can help you retain it better. So that's cool, says Lindsay. Interesting. Cyber is just the machine is learning. I don't know what I'm playing right now, but I like it. Why are you hydroplaning, Ame? Wow, that hurts my hands though, but it sounds really pretty. Um, I haven't hydroplaned in a very long time. It just doesn't rain quite enough in LA for that to be a thing for me anymore. But back when I lived in Arizona, where it rains quite a bit more than it does here in LA, yeah, I had hydroplaned a few times. Wow, I almost covered the full hour. That was a weirder morning medley too, and and it did the full thing, the full gamut. I'm pleased. Okay. I used to mow the lawn with a constant miss. My shorts. Well, oh. Hmm. Thank you, Liana. It didn't have double X in it, and I'm glad you still liked it. I forgot that I made that song. How's your week going? Asks Kit. Well, Kit, thank you for asking. I like it when people ask that. How's my week going? How's my week going, huh? What is it, Wednesday? Not great. Being honest, not. I would like a better week. I would like to trade in this week for a different week if that were a thing, but it could be worse, right? So whatever. I'm breathing. Um, Thanks, Lindsay. I appreciate that. How's your week going? Uh, how's your week going, Kit? The three newest developing songs are this one. That one. That's one. Two is this one. That's the second one. It's coming along pretty low now that it has the ARP in it. And then the third one is this newer one. I think I'm taking out the. It used to go. But I'm taking out the because it's too close to over and under. So I'm taking that out. Now instead of doing a little like the trip up, now it just goes. I like that. Now it's doing that. Now the song is definitely doing that. Hold on. I lost it, but I do like that. I like that trip down. Easy Dora, welcome, and thank you for being here. You know what? I played 78 Downtown earlier, which I don't usually play in the morning medleys, and I thought about you. And it's like as if a summoner. I have now summoned Easy Dora into the stream. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Easy Dora, welcome to 268. I hope you're having a good Wednesday. I hope it's even Wednesday where you are. $268. Thank you, Cyber. Keeping me on track. 268. It's called a fretless bass number 2, and it's extremely quiet. Why do I always do that? There's a very specific when I have a bass note, like say the bass note is this. Instead of playing a chord that is extending from that bass note, instead of hitting something like this, something that fits, or this, I always hit this. Very specific. I will look at what note my hand is hitting in the bass, and I'll hit a chord that kind of hugs it. I'll hit a chord that doesn't have that note in it, but is kind of around that note, and it always ends up sounding like game show to me. Like that's like a game show chord to me. And I don't know why that is. Or like if I pick any bass note, where the bass note's here, I'll do the same thing with that one. See? And it's a thing that like, even when I'm moving my hands around, it's kind of like my hand automatically will like transpose the game show chord wherever I'm hitting a bass line. Why am I on here? Oh yeah, because I'm playing the fretless bass. Sonic vibes, says Mini Ninja. Interesting. I hear game show, you hear Sonic. I can hear Sonic now too, if I listen hard enough. I hear it. That's 268. A fretless bass number 2. Ah, it's because you're a keyboard player, Lindsay. Ah, you have keyboard brain. The funny thing is, particularly the pedal, I mean, I know I can hear the pedal, you can hear the pedal, we can all hear the pedal, but you hear the pedal different when you've had to play the pedal. The plant. Oh, can you see it? Can we just cut him out of frame? Can we cut Booba out of frame? I think I've decided I will feed Booba today. Your room looks beautiful on me, says Easy Dora. Ah, Easy Dora, you haven't been in a little while. Well, there is a plant, there's a picture, and there is a closed closet door. These are the changes that have happened in your absence. Oh, and a curtain. Actually, I guess a lot has actually changed. My bad, Easy Dora. There has been a significant amount of changes since you were last in the stream. For example, I'm happy now. Easy Dora, isn't that weird? I'm not happy. I was probably happier last time you were in the stream than I am right now, Easy Door. Sonic, huh? I really do hit all these chords. All these chords are in my songs. Oh, that's interesting. Even that one. Keep going, keep going. That one also is. That one also is. That one also is. That one, actually, I don't think is in my music. Hold on. Hmm. I don't know that I don't know that that song is it. I mean, that chord's in any of my songs. Hmm. Now that chord is. Not this one. Wait. Oh no, close. Easy Door, next time you come into a Friday stream, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. I've made some songs in your absence that I particularly think you would like. I know that sounds targeted. I know maybe you think, oh, you don't know me at all. You don't know what I like. You don't know who I am. You don't know the type of music I'm into. But I feel there are certain times when I'm writing bass lines, or even when I'm writing chord changes, that I think Easy Door might like this one. Anyways, next time you're on the Friday stream, remind me to. You might not even have to remind me. I might play them on purpose because I have to work on both of them. All three of them. Sorry, all four of them. There's been a lot of songs. What is that? Oh, that is the song. That is the. Okay, so a thing I've been thinking about recently, and this is without working on any music, guys. This is just like in the old Omni noggin. I've been thinking, okay, so I have that sound, the Omnisphere jazz vocal sounds. How do I? And I've done it to death, right? Here are some songs that it's kind of like the main instrument in. It's the main instrument in. Do the shuffle, do the bop, do the bounce, bounce, do the wiggle, do the bop, and the bounce, bounce. Do the shuffle, do the bop, and the bounce, bounce. Do the wiggle, do the bop. What's the name of that song? Do the shuffle, do the bop, do the. I don't remember. Hmm. Oh, it's called Talkbox. So it's the main instrument in Talkbox. It's also the main instrument in Dropout. Um, and then I've started kind of using it as like a sprinkle instrument, an instrument that's sprinkled in, and then people can go, oh, I remember that one. But it's not necessarily the main instrument because it's one of those instruments that has such a defined sound, and my particular chords are very indicative of me and my writing style that I feel like if I make several songs where the jazz vocal scat things are the main instrument and I'm playing my chords, I feel like the songs will either one all start to sound the same or people will not be able to tell them apart. I I fear for that. I don't know if this happens to anybody right now with my music or even maybe you're a musician if it happens with your music, but if you ever get people that can't tell the difference between two of your songs, it's fine and it happens, but it's something that causes me a lot of dismay. I hate it. I hate it when I have made a song and somebody comes to me and they have gotten two of them confused and I actually understand why they're getting them confused. It makes me feel bad. It makes me feel like I'm not innovating. I'm not growing as a musician. For example, I personally get my songs Twinkle Twinkle Bang Bang, no, sorry, Twinkle Bang Bang and Twinkle Brown Sugar confused, and that's just off of title. Those songs sound nothing alike. For example, Twinkle Brown Sugar was the song that used to be the opening for the Friday morning medley stream, and Twinkle Bang Bang is a completely different, like, just pop song I made forever ago. Um, but where was I going with this? Oh, um, getting songs confused, it sucks. And so I don't want anybody, like, for right now, I think that one of the main differences between Dropout and Talkbox is my vocals in Talkbox do a thing. And Dropout has no vocals. Dropout is just kind of like a straight up house track. So I feel like those two songs have their own identity. This new thing that I'm writing, it does just straight up drop out into the jazz vocals for a second, and it made me think, okay, well, how do I fix this? Like, what do I do to make this unique? I think one of the ways that I'm going to be going forward, making that sound, one, using it, because I sometimes don't want to use it. I'm like, I don't want to use it. I used it already. But I'm like, I paid for it. Might as well, like, if you pay for something, use it. If you bought the butter, put it in the waffles. So I'm going to keep using it. But I just need to figure out a way to use it that isn't so derivative of the songs that I first used it with. How can I keep a same tired sound fresh? Because I do really love the sound of those scat vocals. I love it so much. It hits a very specific, like, any chord I play, and then I go over to that scat vocal and I hit the chord with that, it just sounds better to me. It's just, maybe it's the human voice. The human voice does something to me. So, that being said, I think going forward, I'm going to use them in more of a complextro setting. Like when I'm making plunderphonics, I'm just having, like, birds chirp, dogs bark, maybe like a word spoken from one of you guys on the stream plugged in there, an umbe quote, and then throw in some scat vocals here. Just some like scat, like in scat arp or a scat like, something like that. And so I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to fold it completely into like the more complextro, sorry, I keep saying complextro, into the more plunderphonics, um, sporadic arrangement style. I think I'm going to throw it in that way. As far as the songs that it's already in, it's going to stay the way they are. I love the way that newer song is sounding. And it's going to have vocals. Manny Ninja says, why'd you stop doing electro Japanese pop music? Ay, 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 ay. Alright, I'm going to keep reading that. I feel you, Liam, as far as like the limited sample selection. Back to Manny Ninja bit. Manny Ninja says, why did you stop doing electro Japanese pop music? Not the mood anymore? Hmm. Because I'm pretty sure Tehi? Tehi? Sorry, I'm stupid. I'm pretty sure they are most popular, correct me if I'm wrong, out of your songs. Okay, cool. We can talk about this actually. I actually made an Instagram story that wasn't so off of the subject you're talking about. So, here's what happened. So, that type of music, Mini Ninja, I don't know what to call it either. I definitely don't call it electro Japanese pop music. But I don't know what to call it. So I'm just going to go off of what you said. Let's just say EJP. The reason that I don't really make EJP anymore, oh god, Mini Ninja, is because that was a very long time ago. It was 6 years ago. Mini Ninja, and I think I've just maybe grown a little, not even as just an artist, but just as a person. Mini Ninja, at the time that I assume you're talking about Nice Dream. If I'm wrong, correct me. But I assume you're talking about Nice Dream. At the time that I made Nice Dream, my life was actually quite a bit different. I was living a different life. I was hanging out with different people. I was obviously taking in different media. I was playing different video games. I was reading different books. I was watching different shows. I was watching a lot of anime back then. And so a lot of my consumption came out in my production. I was consuming a lot of anime, and I was hanging out in Little Tokyo every day. And then when I started making music, it just kind of came out, it came out sounding like that. On top of that, Mini Ninja, I was also, at the time, selling or shopping is the more accurate term. I was shopping a lot of my music to Multine, which is a Japanese record label. So there was a lot of organic sounds that were coming out of me just from what I was taking in, and there's a lot of decided, intentional moves that were being made also to market my music to a specific corner of the world, let's say. And so that is why that music sounded like that. Those things don't exist anymore. Like, I'm not trying to shop my music to a Japanese music label right now. I also don't really watch a lot of anime. I'm also, I would say, just less impressionable as a whole. Like, and so I'm not really trying to put that stuff into music. And if I'm being completely like a little condemning of myself and who I was back then, it was pretty popular in indie pop music, especially on SoundCloud. A lot of people were doing quote unquote Japanese things, whether that was like sampling like an anime or a video game and putting it into music, or whether it was just straight up having your producer name being like, my name is Sensei Thomas, and it's just some dude, it's just some white dude from Idaho, or my name is like Daniel Kuhn. It was just a thing that everybody was doing, and I'm not saying it was great, but I'm saying it was real. And so I was not in the thick of that, but I was definitely a part of it. I can be transparent enough to say that like it's not like I was living in a bubble. I knew that that was a popular thing, and it was a thing that I was good at. So that's why that music sounded like that. Those things just aren't true for me personally as an artist anymore. Now, as far as them being my most popular songs, something really interesting happened. Something really interesting happened when that music came out. So that music was really popular because that was like a passing genre at the time. As I grew as a musician and other streaming sites, because that was before my music was on anything other than SoundCloud. My music was just on SoundCloud. As I started to push my stuff to streaming sites, the most established music I had at the time was Nice Dream. And so this thing happens on Spotify, where if you go to somebody's Spotify account, it'll usually just put up top songs. Like if I type in like Justin Timberlake, it'll bring up Justin Timberlake's top songs. You won't necessarily get their most recent songs all the time. You're usually just gonna get whatever has the most plays. And since the like Nice Dream songs had the most plays, they were put on the front of my page. So if anybody found out about me and they went to my page, like if they were in a stream and they're like, "Ooh, I really like this piano playing," and I'm like, "I'm on Spotify," they would go to my Spotify, click play on like the first thing they heard or the first thing that shows up, and it would usually be Bon Bon or Sugar Glider. And so by those things being on my front page, it just made them bigger and bigger. And the bigger I got, the bigger those songs got, because it was impossible for me to bury them or put newer music on top of them. So are those songs my most popular songs today in 2020? I would actually say no. But are they my songs with some of the most plays, highest play count? Yes, you're absolutely right, Mini Ninja. They are. But I think that if I go play a concert today, I'm probably not playing Bon Bon, and most of the people showing up are not there to hear Bon Bon. If I'm being really honest, most of the people that are showing up are there to hear probably hip hop remixes and like neo soul. Anyways, that's a very good question, though. I'm glad. I'm glad that you are both aware of that music, Mini Ninja, and hopefully also aware of some other stuff that I've done in the past 5-ish years, and like since then, since Nice Dream. What is your most popular track, Omni? I like this question. I like this question, Umbe. When you ask for my most popular track, are you just saying track with most plays via all platforms? Are we saying track that has made the most money? Are we saying track that people seem to like the most? If I'm going off of analytics, I need a little bit more information, but I do like this question. Coming up with your weeb artist name. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, no. Um, I'm already out of the curve on weeb artist names, says Umbe. Word. Liam, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this to me, Liam. I've taken a beating today. Oh yeah, the one had a huge boom like Gucci. That one had a huge boom like Gucci, says Mini Ninja. What had a huge boom like Gucci? Oh, you're talking about just hip hop remixes in general. Goodbye, Mini Ninja. Thanks for being on the stream. Most plays, maybe most money, any and all these questions, to be honest. Oh, you want me to really go in depth? Okay, Umbe. If we're talking most plays on all platforms, actually, today, it's a very close. You know what? Coliseum. Coliseum. That one, no. Like. That song, the song off of Bloodstream, that's probably the most popular song as far as plays and amount of money made. And the reason for that, the reason that surpassed Bon Bon, Bon Bon was most popular right because of the Spotify algorithm hating me. but Coliseum hit a very specific, like, I've gone into stores and heard Coliseum. I've gone to stores in Bay, and I'm not talking about like boba shops where I'm like homies with the manager, so he plays my music. I'm talking about people that have just put on like chill, cool vibe playlists on Spotify and their stores. I've gone into stores where I don't know anybody in there, and then Coliseum comes on, and I go up to the person and go, "I made this song," and they go, "Oh," because they clearly weren't listening to it. They're just like, "Oh, that's cool." Anyways, are you gonna buy anything or just you just sit here and gloat? But seriously, no, Coliseum. It was because around 2017, 2018, that was like this really weird new spike in like kids loving what they were calling lo-fi hip hop music. And since it was a low barrier of entry, both for producers and for listeners, you didn't really have to know a lot about music or even really care about music in order to enjoy lo-fi hip hop. Nor did you have to know a lot about music and how to make music in order to produce lo-fi hip hop. So it kind of became this thing where everybody was making it. It was like the fidget spinner of music. Remember fidget spinners? Anyways, it was the fidget spinner of music. Like everybody was making it. People were eating it up and consuming it very carelessly. Then one day you go outside and there's fidget spinners all over the street. They're in the garbage can. They're on the highway. People are forgetting them in movie theaters. That's what lo-fi hip hop turned into, or at least this newer wave of what people were calling lo-fi music. So when I released Lush Dream, Coliseum just happened to be the one that hit. Lush Dream, if you remember, Umbe, was very long. There was 33 tracks on it, and that was not an accident. I was just putting a lot of songs out because I was like, if people are going to listen to music in the background, I would much rather have there be 30 plus tracks than 7 tracks where they can just, consume it in a matter of, moments. And so I made a very long one. And I think if I'm being honest, Umbe, it wasn't that the song was so great. It was just that I was really good at making and releasing lo-fi music very quickly and in huge volumes. So what it basically was it was like it's really easy to get water on a toothpick if it's raining outside. Like other people were like aiming at the toothpick with a hose or a water gun, and I just waited until it was raining, and then I held the toothpick out my window, and yeah, it got really wet. So a lot of those songs did really well, but I think it was because people loved chill lo-fi stuff, and I put out an album that had more than 30 songs on it. So there was just probability wise, like one of those songs was gonna get put on a playlist somewhere. And then Coliseum, because of like coffee shops playing it and clothing stores playing it and all these boutique shops in LA playing that song, it surpassed Bon Bon in revenue and plays. So it's kind of close between those two, but for two very different reasons. Bon Bon is close because of Spotify putting it on my front page when I first started my Spotify account, and I think it's still on my front page if you go to my Spotify account today. So that's why that song's big, and then the reason Coliseum is big is because of the whole lo-fi obsession of 2018 through current day, honestly. Um, Still love chill stuff. It's my whole vibe, says Liam. I feel that. I mean, I love chill stuff too. I love chill things too. I don't know that I love what modern lo-fi hip hop is necessarily, but when I think of chill stuff, what I like when I'm gonna put on chill music, I'm gonna put on like Frou Frou, or I'm gonna put on like Etro Anime, which is a band by the way, or I'm gonna put on what's like what's chill and vibey for me. I'm gonna put on Brazilian Girls. I think that's the name of that group. Put on something like that probably. Um, Maybe put on Naji. I might listen to Ehi. Even though like Ehi can get aggressive sometimes, it's still very chill for me. I have to try hard not to make chill music, says Liam. Hmm. Here's the thing, Liam. Chill music to me doesn't translate as songs. So I can play chill music. I can play like chill like chord progressions. Lucky Charms will have a new permanent marshmallow. Remember that one? Anyways, I can play stuff like that. But in my brain, it's not a song. In my brain, I'm just jamming and like I'm just jamming out. It wasn't until people in the stream honestly were like, "Hey, if you release this, I'll listen to it." That I was like, oh, "Okay, I can do this for like a couple hours." You'll get a lot of inspiration from that, says Mini Ninja, in my opinion. Mini Ninja says if you can listen to a song right now, listen to Dream Suite in C major. You'll get a lot of inspiration from that. I did at least. I'm glad you did. I'm not gonna say I won't because obviously I haven't heard the song. But Mini Ninja, most of my inspiration actually doesn't come from music. And so like I think I can count on the hand like directed perceived inspiration from songs. I think most of my inspiration, like for creating anyway, comes from visual stuff. Mini Ninja. It's not that odd, but I hear you. I hear you that like people think you make music, therefore music should be the thing that makes you want to make music, but not really. It's just not true for me. I think a lot of times, like for example, Mini Ninja, most of the people I follow are actually visual artists as opposed to musical artists. Listening to music doesn't necessarily make me want to get out my seat and then go make music. Looking at like really cool animation or really cool drawings. For example, I had a whole stint of like stream juice after watching The Great Pretender. And the funny thing is, it wasn't The Great Pretender's characters, it wasn't The Great Pretender's soundtrack, it was The Great Pretender's backgrounds. I could just flip through. I could print out like a poster sized Great Pretender background and just put it on my wall. That stuff is like very visually like I love it. I would eat it if I could. Anyways, that's what's inspirational to me, Mini Ninja. Listening to a song usually doesn't make me want to go make music. And I thought that was weird too, honestly, until I met um, what's that fool's name? Actually, you know what? I won't even bring him up. Do you know who Danger Mouse is by any chance, Mini Ninja? Do you know who Danger Mouse is? Feel free to say no. It's fine if you don't. Danger Mouse is a producer. Also, my monitor died, which I have my monitor back, yay! But my monitor did just die, so when I say my monitor died, I mean my internet has gone out. So my internet's out right now. I had the guy come check out my internet. By the way, yesterday the guy came to I don't know fix it, and then he like in front of my front door, he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be real with you, dude. Ever since quarantine, the internet's just been bad for us. Spectrum has been bad all around LA, even outside of LA." He was like, "Every day I have to go out and I have to service like 20 people's internet." And he was like, "Honestly, I'm just like balancing the signal and maybe replacing some cables." But he's like, "There's nothing. You're still probably gonna have problems." He was like, "There's just too many people on the internet now." He was like, "It's never been like this. We weren't prepared for this volume of people." And it was the saddest. It was the saddest exchange. It was the saddest exchange. It was like going to your parents and being like, "I'm hungry. What's for dinner?" And them just going, "We don't know. Like, we don't have any money. We don't know. I don't think there is dinner tonight." And you're just kind of like, "Huh? That was it for me. That was my only idea. My idea was ask my parents. And if your parents say there's no dinner, you're like, well, I can't make dinner, so I guess I just don't eat tonight." That's what that man made me feel like. I was like, "You're the internet man. It says Spectrum on your shirt. You're supposed to pull me out of this." And he was like, "Yeah, I don't know." And I was like, "What? So everybody just has to go outside again? I don't get good internet until quarantine's over?" And he was like, "Yeah, I don't know what to tell you." And I'm in one of those areas, like I live in an area where it's Spectrum or bust. Like I can't get AT&T. I'm not in their area. I got way off track. I'm so sorry, Mini Ninja. Internet man came. Oh right. So my monitor's dead. Sometimes in the morning, my internet just like goes out for I don't know 15. It's not that long. It's usually like 5 minutes. But when you're trying to do stuff on the internet and you don't have internet for 5 minutes, it can feel like a clean 15. But it's out right now. So once my monitor comes back on, I will read your comments. But yeah, most of my inspiration for stuff, Mini Ninja, comes from visuals. And Danger Mouse, who was a producer, a music producer, he produced a lot of songs you've definitely heard, even if you don't know who he is. But I can get into his catalog later. Somebody was talking to him in an interview, and they're like, "What is your who is your inspiration? Who do you feel like you pattern yourself after?" And he named film directors. He named a very long list of film directors, and they were like, "But you don't make film." And he was like, "That doesn't matter." He was like, "In art, I think a lot of people get stuck in these bubbles of only looking at people that make the same type of art that they do, and that's where they have to draw inspiration from. And I was like, oh, so other people are like that too. It's not just me. Mini Ninja, I don't know what kind of music you make. You did say that this song, this Dream Suite in C major, inspired you. But have you not pulled inspiration from things that aren't music? Have you ever eaten something and then wanted to make music? Or have you like just been to a place? Have you walked around in like a city that you aren't normally in and you just thought, I know what I want. I know what I want my song to sound like now. Has that ever happened to you? Because it happens to me all the time. I can even sorry, my monitor's back on. I'm just gonna refresh really quick. There's a lot of times. There's a lot of times. Mini Ninja, when, for example, I don't know if you've heard the song. My song Olympus. If you've heard my song Olympus, I have a very vivid memory of exactly where I was standing and what I was looking at that made that song happen. Um, Believe it or not, I found you from Venomade, says Mini Ninja. I believe it pretty hard. That song's also found a lot of people. I mean, shout out to Attack the Music, I guess. But, yeah. I don't know if that's surprising. It's not too surprising. But it's still very pleasing. I'm also confused how you came up with that hook and Venomade. I don't know. Sad. Sad. Yeah, I hate Spectrum. Spectrum's garbage. Fiber optic is legit. Just stops right outside my home. Oh, I feel you. I am a block away from AT&T's sweet, sweet, fast internet, so it sucks. I would often make the background image before I make the song. Says Liam. I like that. I have, but I'm more of an artist in the sense of drawing and painting than music. And I get inspiration from traumatic events in my life for that. Well, I mean, I think we all get inspiration from traumatic events. You were literally just talking about Venomade, which was... I didn't get inspired by going to Disneyland. Like, the really awful life events inspired Venomade. So I think I can feel you on that. I think a lot of artists will pull from trauma. This is a thing. Hello, Jeff Lee, and good morning to you. I think, I think for you, since you're an artist, I've had people. You're an artist. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that visual people get to be artists, and I have to be a musician. I have to be a very specific thing. I'm also an artist. So, anyways, Mini Ninja, you as a visual artist, I've had a lot of visual artist friends that have told me that music I've made or music other musicians have made has inspired them, which is a version of like I don't know, like trans inspiration. I don't know. You're like pulling from a different genre of art, and then you're internalizing it and then spitting out something different. It's cool. It's like you're translating visual inspiration into sonic media or sonic inspiration into visual media. It's very, very cool. It's a cool thing. I hear you, Lindsay. So do I. But I think that a lot of I don't need to get into it, but I think you understand what I'm saying. I also get my inspiration from like movies and conversations. I don't know. It's weird. That's not weird, Mini Ninja. That's the thing. You're saying what I'm saying. That's not weird at all. People get inspiration from anything. You can be inspired by anything, and you can turn that into whatever you want. I personally, though, when I hear music, I hear it a lot of times from almost a too technical, if that makes sense, Mini Ninja. I hear it from a technical point of view too often. So, like, if you play me a Kate Renata song, and I listen to that Kate Renata song, I'll go, ooh, this is boppin'. But then the thing that I hear is the side chaining, and I'm like, that's a really, really, really steep knee on his side chain compression. That's interesting. And then maybe the next time I'm messing around with sidechain in FL Studio, I turn the knee up really high to hear what I was hearing in that Kate Renata song, and I'll be like, that's funny, and I might turn it off. Or maybe I leave it on. But I don't know if that's inspiration so much. I don't feel like I'm being artistically inspired as much as I feel like I'm looking at a very functional, technical thing and going like, oh, I can do that. Or I'm hearing something technical happening in like a a Frederick Robinson song, or I'm hearing something technical happening in an Igloo Ghost song, and I think I have no idea how he did that, and then it's gone. I'm not necessarily inspired. I'm looking at it as like just a conscious observer. But there have been times, Mini Ninja, where I've seen movies, or as you're saying, have had conversations with people, and I thought, oh my god, I need to get to my keyboard right now. I like feel something, and I need to turn this into music. Your music used to be my go-to whenever I draw art, says Mini Ninja. I don't really do art that much anymore since school. Word up. Word up. I mean, school can be rough. School can be rough. I hope you get back into it whenever is a good time for you to do that. It's the same with doctors. Medical doctors and have monopolized the title. Thank you, Liam. Thank you. I didn't want to get into it, but yes, when you tell somebody you're an artist, typically they're not thinking of music. Like if you just take the Joe Schmo off the street, I have to say I'm a musical artist, or I would say I make music. Um, and there's a lot of people I know that make visual art that usually do not say I'm an illustrator. Usually they'll just say I'm an artist, and then people go like, ah yes, the art, the one true art. It's the same with doctors. It's the same with doctors. I don't really listen to music anymore. It's all just technical noise at this point. Ooh, Umbe. Umbe. I could talk for a pretty long time about how long it took me to come back from that. When I got too deep into production, I did start only hearing music from a technical standpoint. And you know what pulled me out of it? Country music. I'm not recommending that you listen to country music, but I remember being in, whose truck was that? Well, whoever it was, they were listening to country. I remember being in the back of someone's truck and they were listening to, I think it was Rascal Flatts. I don't actually remember. It was either Rascal Flatts or like Lost Lonely Boys or something like that. Anyways, they were listening to country music and I was like hearing it and I just couldn't hear anything, you know? It was this beautiful thing where I was listening to the music and my like producer brain was trying to find something. I was like trying to find a pad, trying to find specific chords I recognized, trying to find a lead line that made sense to me, trying to find harmonies that like, oh yeah, I can try to do that in FL Studio. I just couldn't hear anything. I was just hearing music that was completely removed from me, and I was able to appreciate it. I was like, this is a really, really good song. I like this song, and I have no idea what's really happening. Hearing like a lap guitar and hearing how a lap guitar was played after really not hearing one for several years was like, oh, oh wow, there's like a whole different thing going on. I love that. Anyways, what was it? Yeah. It pulled me out of that. I think that listening to electronic music is really hard for me sometimes because I do listen to it with too much of a technical ear. But sometimes listening to stuff that's really far removed, listening to like folk music, listening to like Fleet Foxes, listening to, like I said, like country music, listening to sometimes just jazz, listening to like bebop jazz. One of the cool things about listening to bebop jazz in I was in a relationship, so 2016. Anyways, listening to jazz in 2016 was really interesting for me because I would always listen to a bebop jazz radio station while I was making breakfast in the morning. And my brain was just allowed to do my thing because I wasn't like tearing apart the jazz music the same way I would if I was listening to electronic music. Listening to electronic music, I know how to make that and I understand what goes into it so I can tear it apart. Listening to like Giant Steps by John Coltrane, my brain my brain now knows how to tear it apart a little bit better, but back then it didn't. It was just beautiful noise, and I was kind of able to just focus on cooking, keep my energy up, and appreciate this music without getting sucked into trying to tear apart this music. If that makes sense. Umbe says I still enjoy dancing to music though, but could dance to a metronome if I'm being honest. I like that. Yeah, I can dance to anything with a steady beat, but I also enjoy dancing to music. I enjoy where I am musically right now, which is having music that's super easy to dance to, but pretty complex maybe to tear apart from a harmonic standpoint. That's it for me right now. In 2021, maybe I'll move on to something else, more complex rhythms, but right now, I love steady, danceable rhythms and weird, fun, complex music. Because I think that dancing is what pulls a lot of us together that don't understand music. Not everybody can pull a song apart, but people have rhythm. Sorry. Anyway, I'm moving on. Jeff Lee says to me, Ninja, I stopped making visual art after school. I oil painted like a month ago and thought I would get back into it, but it has been a slow process for me. Well, congrats to you, Jeff Lee, for trying. Oil paints doesn't sound like something you can just pick up, so good on you for being able to even do that. Lindsay says, did not expect you to say Fleet Foxes. Nobody ever expects me to say Fleet Foxes. Anytime I say Fleet Foxes, anytime I say Fleet Foxes, here are the two reactions I get, Lindsay. There's either people that go, what are Fleet Foxes? Or there's people that know that Fleet Foxes are thinking they're like, oh, I was not expecting you to know what Fleet Foxes were or to bring up them. I love Fleet Foxes. Or I should say I used to be obsessed with them. They had this song called, oh my god, what was it called? Textbooks? Or like after school, it was like school themed. It was like love and school themed. That song, I pirated it. I'm sorry. I couldn't find Fleet Foxes in any of the record stores, and I just like downloaded a bunch of Fleet Foxes music, and one of the songs was called Textbook Love. Textbook Love. Textbook Love. Oh my god. If you haven't heard that song, if anybody hasn't heard Textbook Love by Fleet Foxes, please. That song, wow. Wow, I'm in a good mood now. I gotta listen to that maybe after. It's a really hard to find song, at least in my experience. Isadora says, Omni, what do you think about the Grammys drama about the weekend? I'm gonna be completely honest with you, Isadora. I didn't know the Grammys were happening yesterday, and it wasn't until I sat down at like 1 a.m. and I saw like a thing from like Justin Bieber that said like my album is R&B. Why is it in the pop category? And I was like, oh, are we doing this again? Are we doing this again? That's cool. I don't know who won a Grammy. I know that one of my friends, or one of my old friends, if we want to talk about Arizona, we want to talk about folk music. I have a friend named Courtney Marie Andrews who gave me one of my first shows, and she was nominated for a Grammy, so that's pretty cool. But I have no idea who won anything. I don't even know who was nominated for half the stuff. So I'm really sorry, Isadora. Maybe I'll do my homework later. I do feel like I just kind of like fell off with award shows. It's hard for me to watch award shows with any type of investment or interest. I was looking at a dewy leaf this morning, says Liana. I love this story already. And thought, why even try to illustrate? Nature looks so cool, and complex. I should get more into photography. Oh. Sorry, the stream hasn't frozen. I was just thinking. Cameras are so expensive, says Max. They indeed are, but so are art supplies. If you really think about it, over time, you're spending quite a bit if you're an illustrator. I mean, unless you're doing digital art, but I mean, there's a lot of startup money, right? I'm not an illustrator myself, but I've definitely priced out Wacom tablets. Wacom? Anyways, Lindsay says, I'm pretty sure they were my second concert now that I think about it. Wow, you've been into them for a while. That's a whole decade, 2010. I'm not exactly sure what year I got into Fleet Foxes, but I do remember the reason I got into Fleet Foxes is because I was at a place called Casey Moore's in Arizona, which is an oyster bar, which I don't really need to get into why that is a thing, and anyways, or why I was there, because I don't drink and I also don't like oysters. But I was there, and there was a girl by the name of Kimmy. Oh, she's a redhead. She was like really, she was like really into local everything, local music scene. She was like a promoter. I can't remember what her last name was. Kimmy something. And we were talking about folk music, and I was like, yeah, I love folk music. And she was like naming off all these bands. By the way, at the time, I didn't know any folk music. I was just trying to be amicable. And she was like, she was like naming bands, and I didn't remember any of the bands she named except Fleet Foxes. And I remember going home and looking up Fleet Foxes, and I was like, oh, this is actually those like big hard. But yeah, that's why I was into Fleet Foxes. Some girl. Why was I doing anything ever in my life? The price of your camera is not limiting factor in beginning photography. Tell the people, Umbe. If you want to do it, use whatever camera you please. Tell the people, Umbe, please. Use a phone. You want to be a photographer? Phones have sick cameras on them, actually. And you already have one of those. But I hear anybody's trying to think forward. You know, think at the end of the road. Where exactly is my wallet and my artistry going to be? I can relate to that. Max has to go. Goodbye, Max. Thank you for being in the stream. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, street sweeping day. Um, Kim, I don't know what her last name was. She, what was his name? She dated this dude. I think his name was Liam or Elliot or something. I don't know. Arizona's weird, man. Arizona's weird. Like being in Arizona, like makes me itchy. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it there. I don't like anything about anything there. Everything there feels bad, and I feel like I lived in a closet. I feel like Harry Potter. Remember in Harry Potter when he met a black person for the first time and he freaked out? Remember in Prisoner of Azkaban? I have a DSLR, but like I'm not carrying that thing around everywhere. Yeah, for sure. I don't want to carry any instruments around everywhere either. Um, yeah, stick with the phone for sure. When I hung out with Mia Gladstone, Leanna, Mia Gladstone takes a lot of photos on her phone, constantly taking photos of me, taking photos of things around me, like, and it was pretty cool. I thought after seeing her do that, I was like, she's right. She was like, there's so many really cool, beautiful things around us all the time. She was like, LA's so beautiful. She was like, where I live, it's not this pretty, and I feel like you just take for granted how pretty everything is all the time. And I was like, oh, you're probably right. I mean, if I lived in like Oklahoma City, I'd probably be pissed because everything looks the same. Lumbi says my DSLR broke, and now I'm just gonna use my phone to record music videos. It's the same thing these days. Lumbi, tell me about it. All of quarantines were recorded on phones, and people seem to enjoy those, or at least the people that watch them. So I would encourage anyone to use a phone, especially if they don't have a better camera. I mean, this stream is done on the phone. What the heck? Yeah, right. I'm the phone man. Have you heard her new song? It's so good, says Isidore, talking about... Did I mention someone? Who? Whose new song? I was trying iPhone 6S, and now I'm on 11. The camera is such an upgrade. I feel powerful. It's nice when you have a nice camera. Oh, Mia's new song. Yeah, of course I heard it. Yeah, Food. Yeah, Mia's dope. I listen to anything that Mia puts out the second it comes out. And, yes. And I do like Food. It's wild how different it is, Liana says, talking about the camera upgrade. Um, I was talking to somebody yesterday about how I had that same experience kind of with FL Studio. I used Fruity Loops 3, and then I didn't upgrade until 7 came out, and then I didn't upgrade again until 12 came out, and then I went, from 12 into 20 like the rest of the world. And boy, were those all jarring shifts in my experience with that program. I've been thinking. Yeah, I've been thinking lately, and I think that once I get up to, this is just tentatively speaking. I'm thinking, all right, guys, these are thoughts. They're thoughts, but I think once I get to episode 300, I might actually end the streams for a moment in time before I start season 3. There might actually be a break between season 2 and season 3. I don't know how long that break is. Maybe it's 3 days, maybe it's 4 days, maybe it's a full week, maybe it's 2. But I do think that I'm probably going to have some break between season 2 and season 3. I'm like 60% on this. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. Why did you wait so long to upgrade FL Studio? I wait a long time to upgrade everything, Lindsay. Usually I don't upgrade things until it's breaking. For example, even you were just talking about phones. I'm not like I'm not really like current with phones. Once I lost my Verizon sponsorship or whatever, I just went back to like buying phones when my current phone broke. I haven't upgraded. I've been using the 3A since that happened. Um, my FL begs me to upgrade every time I boot it up, says Mbe. You're allowed to take a break if that means you are supercharging the stream. I don't know if I'm even supercharging it. I just think that it's cool to have a season and then a break before the next season starts. Then we can all have a minute to digest how awful this one was. And then when I start back up, maybe you guys can go like, oh wow. Is the classic door open again? I'm definitely the same way when I have to pay for the upgrade, but FL Studio upgrades for free. There's a few things that I'm going to say right now, Lindsay, and once I say them, I'm never going to say them again. When I was using FL3, I didn't pay for that version of FL Studio. So there's that. The second thing is that when I was using FL Studio 3, I didn't have my own computer. I was using the family computer, which was already like janky as it was. Like it was barely running FL Studio. So the idea of upgrading to a more powerful program was going to be a nightmare. The third thing about upgrading is I just actually didn't know when they were coming out. I didn't, like, who was going to tell me? I didn't have any friends that were using FL. Twitter didn't exist, and it wasn't like I had like producer friends that were like, oh, the new FL just came out. Everybody was like, oh, what's Fruity Loops? So I was just using this thing called FL3. Honestly, I didn't even know that there was 1 and 2. I thought that 3 was just the name of the program. FL3, I don't know. And when somebody was like, oh, there's FL7, I was like, well, where's 4 through 6? And they're like, they exist. They exist. Also, when I went to Guitar Center, I didn't even know you could buy Fruity Loops from Guitar Center. They keep them in a very weird place, by the way. Nowadays, now that like SoundCloud's a thing and producers are big and people are just buying Ableton like it's pancakes, now that stuff is like super available. Before, when you went to Guitar Center and you wanted to like buy a DAW, they kept this in this very weird area, and they didn't keep a lot of them. Like there was only a few in store, like behind a counter. Like they were selling FL Studio like they were like cartons of cigarettes, like they were Marlboro Reds or something. Like you had to know exactly where to go, and you couldn't touch them. Anyways, yeah, I used FL3 for a really long time. But now I'm legit. I'm clean. It's everything's paid for, everything's checked, everything's fluid, liquid, soft, clean. Everything's fine now. FL20 is amazing. I don't know if you've seen it, but I use it in the stream. Makes sense, a lot more sense. I guess the program didn't remind me it would take me a bit longer. Yeah. Yes. If FL Studio is so good, why didn't they make an FL Studio 2? I would love to see what FL Studio 2 looked like. FL Studio wasn't, and there's always these jokes. I was actually in Mark's stream yesterday, and Mark Rodita was like, oh yeah, I used to use FL back when it was called Fruity Loops, and it is very funny because there was a specific switch in FL Studio becoming FL Studio. When I was using it was called Fruity Loops 3, and it was called Fruity Loops 4, Fruity Loops 5, Fruity Loops 7, and then there was a shift where Fruity Loops wanted to be taken more seriously and started referring to themselves as a program as FL Studio. ImageLine presents FL Studio. And I remember when that happened, I thought it was a completely different program, and I was like, oh, I don't think I'm professional enough for this one. Where's my Fruity Loop? But it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I think ImageLine and the name Fruity Loops is kind of, it dated itself pretty hard because in the original FL Studios, it was loop-based, you know. And even now, when you guys are looking at me working it, there's still an onboard sequencer, so it's really easy to make loops, but you guys could make a very, very easy argument that it's not for making loops anymore. It's for making full-fledged songs. I mean, I'm currently making a score in it, so, I don't know, loop this. Does torrenting still exist? Torrenting definitely still exists. Yeah. Torrenting still exists. I don't use them. I don't use them because there's nothing I really want to steal. I don't know how that's being received. I hope it's being received the way I'm trying to express it. There's just like nothing I want. my brain does this thing now where like if there's a movie that somebody's like, you gotta watch it, you gotta watch it, and then I go on to Netflix and it's not there, I'm like, one down, and then I go to I don't know, Amazon Prime and it's not there, I'm like, oh no, I can't watch this movie, guys. I don't know where it exists, and I just don't watch it. But typically Amazon Prime will like have it for rent or something. But yeah, like and then music, streaming sites have like screwed that, and so I don't even like really torrent music anymore. Torrenting programs, there's no programs I really use outside of FL Studio and HitFilm, the visual program I used to make like Quarantunes and edit videos. So it's like weird, like there's just nothing that I want. My computer usage actually has become so streamlined. Like the computer used to be such a vast open world to me. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that for the, I don't know, remaining 10 minutes of the stream? The computer to me used to be like a world of possibilities. I used to get on the computer and I would make a beat, and then I would get on like Rose Online and play like a Korean MMO with my friends, and then I would like just surf the web. I would like go to websites that good things maybe happened on, checking friends' pages and MySpaces, and like Facebook was a thing, and like just looking at stuff. I'd go to YouTube. What new videos today, my friend? Is there a new Flash game? Is there a new Flash game? Oh, what was the website I would go to? There was like a website that just like aggregated a bunch of Flash games and had links to them. It wasn't like, the site didn't make Flash games. It just had a lot of hot links to Flash games, and they were organized in alphabetical order and by genre. It was amazing. I think it was called like 2flash.com or something. Anyways, point is, it was just this, I could spend all day on the computer doing a bunch of cool things. Now, I literally, the only time I sit at that chair over there is to make music, or if we're doing pizza night and I'm streaming a movie. That's kind of it. I don't really do anything on that computer now. If I want to like, yeah, I just don't do anything. If I want to listen to music, I don't do it on my computer. I do it on my PlayStation. If I want to surf the web, I guess I kind of do that on my phone. If I want to chat with people, I do that on my phone. If I'm doing social media, that's also on my phone. The computer really has, like, the only reason I have a desktop is because it's for work. Probably should have claimed that on my taxes, actually. Umbe says, internet used to feel exciting. Now it's just going to cause the demise, probably. It's not all bad, though, I guess. It's not all bad, sure. Yeah, I'm not trying to doom and gloom the internet. The internet's fine. It's just, it's no longer I'm talking specifically about my desktop. I no longer am on the computer for the internet. I feel like I'm always on the internet, whether I'm in my room or I'm like laying down in the grass in the park somewhere. Like I'm always kind of jacked in, so the computer just doesn't represent the internet for me anymore. In fact, the only time I'm really on the internet again for the computer is when I am streaming to you lovely people. Jesse says, wow, just flipped back to pictures of FL4. Takes me back, says Jesse. Indeed, it was an uglier program. There is no chance to see it in the US for months. Aw, I feel bad about the last thing I torrented. I wanted to see it. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Imagine how I feel. Imagine how I feel. Imagine how I feel, guys. Guys, you want to talk about wanting to see something? I was like giddy. Giddy, guys. You've seen me giddy before. It's a very rare occasion. I was giddy with excitement the first time I saw a trailer for Tenet. And then quarantine happened, and LA being a big city, we shut down, as we should have. And there's no movie theaters. Movie theaters still aren't open. But the movie came out, because there's movie theaters open in Arizona. People in freaking Florida are going to watch movies. And there's people that have seen the movie. There are people that have come into the chat and been like, hey, I saw the movie, Omni. It was sick. And I'm like, yo, don't talk to me about it. I want to see it in my own time. And can I torrent it? Oh, you betcha. I could torrent it, but it's just like my brain won't let me. I like want to see it the right way. Have I lost my edge? Do I not do crimes anymore? I used to do so many crimes, guys. I feel like something softened me. If something happens to me, I don't want them to be able to look up anything. I don't want them to be able to go like, Omni did though do this one thing. I don't want if they finally get me, if they finally get me, I don't know. If the people finally get me, I don't want them to pull up like a blurry image of like me somewhere in like an alley with like a can of beer or something. And they'll be like, see, we told you. So I just don't do anything. And I think part of my brain is like, if I have uTorrent, if I have the program uTorrent on my computer, that's going to like, it's going to add to it. I'm going to be a bad person. Anywho, Isadora says, have you watched Queen's Gambit? I have not. Everybody really wants me to. That girl looks like somebody I used to know, by the way. The girl with the far apart eyes. She looks like somebody I used to know. I have not watched Queen's Gambit, though. I don't really want to. Everybody likes it, and I'm sure it's good, and I'm also sure if I probably started watching it, I would also like it. But the premise is, like, so not a thing that is, like, for me. But will I eventually watch it? Maybe. With the far apart eyes. Her eyes are kind of far apart. I wasn't trying to be mean. I just don't know what her name is. And I felt like if I said the far apart eyes, people would know who I was talking about. Is she the queen? In the show? Was it LA? Most people don't own desktops, actually. Things like typing and knowing how to operate a computer are skills that may fall to the wayside. Kind of wild. I think it's already falling to the wayside. For example, somebody came up to me while I was in Bon Appetit at the top of this year, and they were like, you type so fast. They're like, did you take classes on that? And I was like, no. I just own a keyboard, and so you type fast. They're like, oh, I'm like really bad at typing. Like, everybody I know is pretty slow. Like, they're like, I just thought you did it for a living or something. And I was like, no. Home row, baby. They even put little bumps so you can know where to put your index fingers. It's just... Anyways, Jubbly says, couldn't they just pull up the stream where you said you used to do a lot of crimes? Yeah, but that wouldn't be proof. That would be proof. I could just say, it was a big joke. It was a big joke. I was just kidding. Someone called it a sports anime. A lot of people have referred to it as a sports anime, which makes me like, which is like, that's scary to me. Because I do not like sports anime. I very, very passionately do not enjoy sports. And I'm including board game based anime as also sports. There was even a K-drama that I tried to watch that was based on a board game. This girl that was really good at a board game. And I was like, I just can't do it. I can't get through it. I don't watch TV, but I especially don't watch TV when other people are watching TV. I can't stand TV show discourse. Word up, Umbe. That's fair. Maybe I will end up watching Queen's Gambit, Isadora. You have a pretty good track record on recommending me things. So... I may go against my better judgment and maybe watch Queen's Gambit. I like when people's eyes are really far apart, by the way. I just want to say that. It's great. I'm a fan. Typing fast? Remember handwriting? That's another thing that I do a lot at Cyber. I mean, I haven't so much this year, but I used to write every day, right? Because I had my daily log. And I've had compliments on my penmanship. Instant messaging as a tween made me a super fast typer. Ooh, instant messaging. Instant messaging made me something else. But fast typer is not it. Trust on my recommendations, says Isidore. I'm trying. I will. Ugh, AIM. Ooh, yeah. I'm glad that I don't have access to AIM anymore. Okay. We're at 57. This is a good time as any. I have heard it's good and wanted to watch it, but wanted to set aside time to binge it, says Jevly. I assume talking about Queen's Gambit. When do you think you'll return to writing every day? Next year. I would like for 2020 to be referred to in my daily logs as the lost year. I would love for me to one day have to return, because I've been writing in these books for years and years. I have milk crates filled with composition books that I've been writing in every day for a pretty long time. And I would love for it to be this kind of like, like 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2019, 2021, and just nobody knows what happened this year because honestly, I don't. I don't know what happened this year. Easy Dory says, "What do you think about the new Instagram? It looks like a shop now." Yeah, people are really upset about it. The new Instagram. I can't get into all of my issues with Instagram, Easy Dory, because it's an essay. It's very long. But if you're talking just specifically about the new redesign, where they've moved a little shop button down in the bottom, and now the button to post, it's a little bit harder to do, or the button to get to your notifications rather is a little bit harder to do. I don't like it. I also don't like that Twitter has stories. I don't like a lot of things right now. In social media, let me find something I do like. Let me give you a positive so that I'm just not, a little grouch. What's something that I really like about social media lately? I really like about social media lately that everybody is. Oh wow, that was gonna come off really bad. Okay, I really like about social media lately that that I should have allowed myself more time to think of something. Rem says, "Is it possible to play Flight Plan on piano?" Not really. Not the recorded version of Flight Plan, but I have like this acoustic version of Flight Plan that I play. Sometimes I miss. What are you saying? Photo log. Oh, Flickr. I think I have some pictures on Flickr, but I never really understood how to use it. Could you comment on stuff on Flickr? I just treated it like a Dropbox. Let's see. No, I want to update Instagram just to see how garbage it is. Oh, word. What's something I like about it? Social media lately. When you mentioned old MySpace pics, I found so many cringe old pics in my photo bucket. I don't know how to find my photo bucket and all these things. I definitely had. I'm deleting my Tumblr, sister. I'll post why in Discord. Word up. I deleted my Tumblr, I think, a long time ago, but not with any good reason. To close up, the thing that I like about social media to right now, and if I'm specifying Instagram, the thing that I like about Instagram right now is that man, I like that discourse can't really happen on Instagram. I like that I don't really see people fighting on Instagram. I like that Instagram. I don't really see hot takes on Instagram. I see a lot of jokes, which is chill, and I see like sometimes a lot of hate, which is chill. But there isn't a lot of back and forth. It's like here's my statement, and then people just kind of like let it go. Maybe people argue in the comments, but I don't have to see that. I kind of just see the post. That is a thing that I love about Instagram. I never got into I never got into what's it called? What's the other thing? Visco or whatever. I never got into Visco, but I remember seeing a friend's Visco, and she was like, I correct me if I'm wrong, but she was like, I don't think they can. She was like, they can't comment. Like, you can't leave comments on somebody's thing, or you can't like somebody's. I don't know. It was like, I think it was you couldn't comment, and I was like, that's pretty cool. I like one thing that I guess I don't like about social media, and this isn't social media. This is more so like industry, capitalism, and industry. I don't like that. Usually, you start off with a lot of cool different things, and then the more you go, you're like reaching this weird like event horizon of the perfect product. And I feel like along the road to the perfect product, a lot of things that maybe you liked get weeded out of the process, and maybe a lot of things that you hated get weeded out, and that's cool. Maybe a lot of things you liked got added, but I feel like there was a time where Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter and Facebook were very different spaces. You couldn't do the same things on these spaces. It was like, this is a post for Twitter. This is a post that'll work on Facebook. Or this is a thing I can do on Snapchat, but I definitely can't do it on Instagram. And then slowly, they all kind of started turning into the same thing. And the things that I hated about one became the things I hated about all of them now. And the things that I really, really liked about one became the thing that just everybody has now. It's kind of annoying, but I meant to end on a positive note, which is that I like that discourse doesn't really happen on Instagram too much. There's a lot of whack people on Instagram, but I don't really. There's not really a supportive space to argue with these people. I feel like making a hot take on Instagram makes you look like an idiot. Making a hot take on Twitter can be like a good weekend if I don't know if you're a normie and you need like 100,000 likes on a Trump dump, like a Trump dunk tweet. Okay, um, I miss the versatility. One day it's just gonna be the app. Yeah, Lindsay, and I think that's what we all know is happening, and some of us fear. I think it's just I don't know. For example, I think whatever MySpace was, not to romanticize MySpace, but I think that a lot of the things that MySpace had that I liked got weeded out, going towards the perfect product. And I think that a lot of the things I liked about SoundCloud got weeded out, going towards the perfect product, which right now is like Spotify. And so I think that's just a part of industry. That's just a part of like capitalist society. Usually, it's kind of like the survival of the fittest, like the thing that is doing the best will kill everything else, or they'll look at somebody else that's doing a thing good and then they'll just take it and then kill it. They'll like take the anyways, whatever. Perfect product is whack, says Liana. I agree with Liana 100%. Jesse says, weeded out going towards the most perfect product, or the most profitable product. Yeah, I think perfect product and profitable product in capitalism is the same thing. They're synonymous. Guys, this song is called Hush Hour, but I'm not gonna play it yet. Right now I'm gonna talk about the songs that I have out, or at least the collections of them. One is called Signals, it's jazzy. One's called House of Omni, it's collaborative. And the other one is called Tall Tales, it's experimental. And then I'm going to go over a little bit of the Dream series. The next release I made, by the way, I think is going to be a Dream series release. So I guess I'm a little excited about that. Nice Dream, Love Dream, Speed Dream, Lush Dream, Daydream, Ego Death, and Quick Breath. These are all my releases that have come out in the last 5 years. I think all put together it amounts to maybe 100-ish songs. It's actually more than that, but I'm trying to round down, so it's about 100-ish songs. Listen to them if you ever get a chance. Maybe not all 100, but at least 2. Let's say you're in the stream. Go listen to 2 of my songs today. Pick the shortest 2. Pick 2 from Lush Dream. Pick 1 from Daydream. Listen to an intermission if you have to, but I did release all those songs. I am proud of all of them. They're available on Bandcamp, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon MP3, Tidal, Deezer, Pandora, Napster, and YouTube. Also on YouTube, I have some exclusives like remixes and Quarantunes is a thing, which I'm also planning to maybe recontinue next year, since next year's also going to be trash, I think. Ron wants me to play Gucci. Gucci is only 3 chords, so I can play the 3 chords from it. But I can't really play that for the entire 3 minutes that Gucci is. But you understand. Omni, I posted a nice little collection of Great Pretender backgrounds on the media channel on Discord. Ooh. 10 seconds? I'm sorry, Rem. I'll tell you what, next stream, because I'm trying to like end on time lately, next stream I'll play Gucci as long as you like, if you can remind me early enough. I love Crow. I love Crow so much. You know why I did that? I actually thought Crow wasn't here. I thought Crow was gone. I hadn't seen Crow say anything in the chat in a minute, and I thought that Crow left, so I thought I was gonna. You like scare me. You like poke out whatever. That's how to summon you. If I play 70th Downtown, Easy Door shows up in the stream. If I play freaking Reflection Pool, Kid James just magically shows up. And if I play Hush Hour wrong, Crow like materializes. Like, it's good. It's good. Appreciate you plenty, Crow. Thank you for being here, and thank you for keeping me in line and on task. I appreciate it, guys. This is going to conclude morning medley number 268. Oh man, this is going to conclude it. I was here the whole time, says Crow. Okay, all right. Crow was here the whole time. I'm giving Crow full credit. I'm giving Crow full credit for the entire 2 hours and 11 minutes of the stream. I apologize that you sat through that entire stream and I played Hush Hour wrong. I will play it correct next time, at least unless I think you're not here again, in which I will go full improv mode on it. I apologize though, Crow, for this time. I will be in and out of the Discord today, maybe a little bit more because now I have my monitor. Usually, I don't like using Discord on my phone. I only like using it on my laptop. So I haven't been in, really active, especially yesterday. I was doing a lot yesterday. We can get into it later. That's going to conclude this stream. I want to thank you all for being so respectful to me and polite to each other. There wasn't any new people today, but anytime there is somebody new, you're always really polite to them. Anytime there is anybody new, Cyber always invites them into the I gotta learn the song from Curb Your Enthusiasm. Anytime Cyber sends out the link and invites new people in, you guys are always very nice in the Discord because I'm very, very negligent, and I appreciate you guys picking up the slack. It's very, very nice. Mini Ninja's an old face. Yeah. So I appreciate that. I will be in there though today. It's Wednesday, so I don't need to go over the whole production stream stuff. But in a couple of days, we are going to do a production stream. It's going to be long, as they always are. So if you had any sample submissions, again, I'm probably not going to get into them in this stream. But I have set like a little marker in Discord, mentally and visually, so I know where the last submissions were. And so probably next week, I'm going to dig into pulling out those. But yeah, thank you everybody for being respectful to me and polite to each other. I do hope you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday street sweeping day, and I will see you back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. for morning medley number 269. That's the sex number. We'll try not to mention it though tomorrow, yeah? We'll try. That's more so you guys than me. There's a 2 in front of it though. That kind of ruins it, right? Kind of ruins it.